Hey, Seja.
Hey Billy, how are you?
Yeah, what's going on?
Good. I need your help. I am going away to Europe in a couple of months, and I need a really good camera to take with me, so I need you to help me out.
I think I have the perfect camera for you. I'm actually doing a video later. If you want to join me in this video,
Okay.
You can learn all about this camera, and I think it would be an ideal camera that you can take with you on your trip.
Okay, perfect.
Cool. Hey, I'm Billy of the Fuji Guys, and today I have here Seja, who is one of the Fuji employees who's really interested in buying a digital camera. I know I lent her an X10 for her last trip. I know in a couple of months you're going to Europe, so you're looking for another camera, and now you're looking to buy one. So what better chance to kind of talk about our new camera, which I think is perfect for you actually. And I'll tell you some of the key features that will make it a camera that you can take with you on your travels. First off, the X-A1 itself has a very large sensor. It uses an APS-C CMOS sensor using a standard Bayer filter array. It's 16 megapixels, and it's going to really give you a good image quality. I know the X10 that you had a large sensor on it.
Yeah.
It was larger than most point and shoots, but this is even bigger than that.
So what are the advantages of the sensor?
Well, the biggest advantages of a larger sensor is that it's going to give you better, low light capabilities. What I mean by that is that I can shoot at higher ISO and still maintain very low noise. So if I want to freeze a subject, I can shoot at a higher ISO to give me a faster shutter speed. That will help me freeze the subject. But also, the larger sensor size is going to give me, a better control over depth of field. So I can actually get a more shallow depth. So if you ever looked at images from weddings where you would have the bride and groom and the background is so blurred out, that large sensor size is going to actually do that trick for you. And it makes it so much easier. I mean, you can have faster lenses, but having that large sensor size right off the bat is going to give you those two key advantages, including having that shallow depth of field look. Now, of course, this style camera I think you'll like because it's very, very lightweight. And look at the size of it.
Oh, yeah.
The body itself is only about just 320, 330 grams. The lens on this one that comes with the camera is again about just 200 to 300 grams. So it's quite lightweight compared to a normal DSLR system. If you look at an older Fuji camera that we had, this is a true DSLR. It's what you would consider a professional, style camera.
Right.
But when you go down to an X-A1 like this that uses the same sensor size as this camera, you're going to really appreciate on your travels the weight and the size.
Yeah.
And even the weight here, even without the lens, is still heavier than the X-A1 itself, right? So again, that's a huge advantage with this camera. I always try to recommend, get the best camera that takes the best picture.
Right.
And generally DSLRs are that type of camera to go with. But with this camera offering that same sensor size, it's going to give that same image quality as well. Now, this is Fuji's first, CSC camera that offers that, that APS-C filter array that uses a standard Bayer filter array on the camera.
What do you mean by CSC?
Well, CSC stands for compact system cameras.
Okay.
These cameras also go in another name like interchangeable lens camera system.
Oh, okay.
And exactly like the name implies, it allows you to interchange the lenses with other lenses in the lineup. Now, the X-A1 comes with the 16 to 50 millimeter lens. It's a nice kit lens. It gives us a nice balance between size, weight, and quality. And it's a perfect fit for this X-A1. But down the road, you can pick up other Fuji lenses, including our XF lens lineup that offers a little bit better quality. If you pick up that lens there, you can see this is our newest lens in our lineup. It is the 23mm lens f1.4, and it's really it's equivalent to about a 35 millimeter focal length. And it's again a high quality lens.
Why would you want to change the lens?
Well, this camera would fit most customers, like being 16 to 50, but if you want to get sharper images, if you want to have better control over depth of field, because with the F number or the aperture number, this aperture can go a lot bigger, allowing more light in, so it's better for low light, over and above the sensor size. But also that amount of light coming in also allows you to create a more shallow depth, so that I can really isolate the subject from the background, making it a lot more dreamy looking, right? And sometimes that background, that out of focus blurred area, we call it sort of a bokeh, gives you, it has that nice dreamy look to it. And that's really a key benefits of the CSC, of course. So Seja, the X-A1 actually has a built-in flash, just like your X10 would have. You pop up the flash like this to actually enable it. It actually uses what we call a super intelligent flash system, and it makes it very easy to take flash photography.
How does it make it easier?
Well, super intelligent flash actually determines the distance of the subject that you're shooting. It also takes into account the exposure on the camera, including the ISO and the shutter speeds, and so that it can actually output the flash so that it doesn't wash it out. So whether you're taking a close-up shot or maybe you're taking pictures of family and friends, with the flash, it's not going to give you that washout effect. It's going to make it a lot easier. In fact, I like it so much that, sometimes even in bright sunlight, I use it because it helps with a better exposure, and it just gives that subtle look, and it also adds a little bit of color to the photo itself.
Okay. How strong is the built-in flash?
The built-in flash is effective to about 7 feet. So when you take photos with this, Seja, you want to make sure that your subject is within that distance. If they're too far away, what I could recommend, of course, is that this camera does have a built-in hot shoe, and you can pick up a flash, an external flash unit that can be effective all the way up to about 42 feet. So there's different flashes that we do offer by different sizes, and of course this external flash is going to be a lot easier to take pictures in low light situations where you need that distance, where the subject is very, very far away. Now, I know in your travels, you're going to take a lot of photos.
Yep.
The camera has a LCD screen that's about 920Ks. It's actually tilt.
Cool.
So you'll be taking a lot of the photos by using this LCD screen to really compose your shot.
Okay, how much does it tilt?
It tilts about 90 degrees, so it can actually tilt it upwards up to actually
very
slightly
cool.
over 90 degrees.
Yeah.
And of course, that's going to allow me to take pictures of maybe my kids, of course, and of course for you, it's your niece and nephews.
Yeah.
Where instead of bending down, you can actually take photos like this. It's a
Yeah,
lot more
that's
comfortable,
cool.
and you get right down to the eye level.
Yeah.
But of course, let's say if you're going to a concert and you want to either videotape
Oh,
above
cool.
you, you can do that and kind of shoot over the crowd, and makes it
Yeah.
a really cool feature to have.
What about in the sunlight?
Well, the LCD screen is quite bright itself, but there's also a built-in sunlight mode.
Okay.
And in bright sunlight, you can go into the menu and enable it, but I have a quick tip for you. You can actually hold the Q button down for a few seconds,
Okay.
and it actually will automatically enable that sunlight mode and brighten up
that's
the
so
screen.
neat.
So in bright sunlight, it makes it a lot easier to compose a shot with the LCD screen.
Okay.
So Seja, you like flowers, right?
I do.
Well, this camera also offers the ability to take close-up shots, just like your X10 would, of course. And if you want to make it simpler for yourself, you can push the macro button here on the back,
Okay.
and it allows you to take up close-up shots of flowers or anything that you want to take pictures of.
Oh, cool. How close can you shoot?
With this particular lens, you can get to about 30 centimeters away, but it varies between the lens that you use. So if you use some of our macro lenses that we have, you can get even closer to take nice close-up shots. In fact, if you zoom out on this camera, you can also use the macro functionality as well. So it's a similar 30 to 40 centimeter distance away via the telephoto side of things. I know you have some nieces and nephews, and I know sometimes you take photos of them. There's this really cool feature that I kind of like on this camera, and it's basically this high-speed shooting mode. It allows you to take a bunch of shots. In this particular instance, I push this button here, and I can select 5.6 frames a second. And what that's going to do is that it's going to allow me to take a bunch of shots, up to about 30 shots, at full resolution, so that if I have kids running around, I can just, again, fire it off, and it sort of takes the guesswork away out of getting them in the right moment in the action, right?
Okay. What exactly do you mean by full resolution?
Well, what I mean by full resolution, this camera sensor uses a 16 megapixel sensor. Sometimes when other cameras offer a high-speed shooting mode, they limit the size of the resolution, sometimes to even half of that. But by allowing me to shoot at 16 megapixels at that fast frame rate, I can pick one of those photos and make a giant poster-sized print, and it's going to give you better image quality. So that's really cool to have with this particular feature. The camera also has these film simulation mode, and I know maybe you're a little young, you haven't shot with film before, but Fuji's been around for a while, and we offer 3 different cool film simulation modes, including ProVia, Velvia, as well as ASTIA as well as sort of like a way we can mimic the look and feel of film. And these are some of our professional films that we kind of offer on this camera.
So which one out of all of those would I use to make myself look better?
Well, you know what? There's actually a feature film called ASTIA. And ASTIA is actually a professional portrait film. And what it does, it gives you softer skin tones.
Okay.
And I know you've taken pictures of yourself or your friends. It's going to make you a lot nicer looking. especially your skin tone. And the color rendition is not like oversaturated, so it doesn't look very fake at all. I actually use it 99% of the time because mostly I shoot my wife and my kids all the time. And for the majority of people who use these style cameras, they're generally taking pictures of people, right? And so APS-C is a great film mode to check out. If you go into the menu here, actually if you just push the Q menu, you can get access to the different film simulation modes here. It's on standard here, which is what we call ProVia.
Okay.
You have Velvia, which gives you more higher saturation. So if you like taking flower shots, you can get more punchier colors. But this feature, the sepia, is, the APS-C is what I like. It's like portrait soft film that again gives you very nice skin tones.
Right.
So Seja, you're gonna really like this next feature on the X-A1. It's called Advanced Filters. There's 8 of them on it, and it really makes you a little bit more creative when you take photos.
Okay, you know that I'm not advanced at all, so how easy is it?
Well, it's not technically advanced. They're actually just photo effects, similar to that what you find on social media sites where you have these cool-looking vignetting effects and stuff.
Okay.
On this cam itself, you change the dial to the advanced mode. You push the menu OK button and it brings up the menu for the advanced filters.
Okay.
From there, I can use the directional pad and go through the various options. There's actually one called Toy Camera. That's sort of like having a retro cam. It has that color that's more retro looking. And there's a little bit of vignetting happening there. There's a miniature effect that kind of creates sort of this, blurred top and bottom half that gives you sort of an effect sort of like a diorama, like a fake toy city. So if you're really high up and you shoot down, it gives you that cool looking effect. There's things like pop color, high key, low key, even dynamic tone. Of course, there's also this new soft focus effect. So if you take pictures of someone, you can see it has that glowing effect to it. Sort of like back in the days when photographers used, a little bit of a cream in the front and they would rub it in and it gives you that soft focus. You don't have to do that now, of course, with this. There's also a feature called partial color that allows you to isolate one color from the scene and make everything basically black and white. I kind of like it in the fact that, when you use it, I can see a live preview. I know exactly what's black and white and what's going to be in color. For this instance here, because it's red, I'm going to take a photo here, and all you're going to see, of course, with that image is that shows red, everything else is kind of monochrome, which is kind of nice. Now, of course, in the advanced dial itself, there's also another creative feature. If you scroll down, it's called multi-exposure, and it makes you even more creative when taking photos with it.
How does it do that?
Well, it basically allows you to take 2 shots, and it actually merges it together as one single shot. So it kind of superimposes a shot. So I can take one picture like that. Okay, and then it tells me, to take the next shot, and you can see I have a ghosting effect of the next shot. And I can do anything I like. I can zoom in, take my next shot, and now it's going to give me a preview of that. And again, it's like having 2 shots,
that's cool.
exposed together. So you can really be more creative with this camera. It's a great feature to have. Of course, once you've done all that and you're taking all these cool effects with this camera, you can actually upload this to, or actually upload it to your home PC because it does have a built-in Wi-Fi connection on it. It actually is Wi-Fi certified, so if I go home and of course I can download this PC autosave feature on my computer and it can automatically wirelessly transfer all my images to my computer without having to deal with the USB cable and unplugging and plugging it in. I can also share it onto, or connect it onto my smartphone as well. If I want to share it on social media websites, it's pretty simple to do.
Okay, cool. Do you need a network connection?
I don't have to connect it to a home network at all. I can actually hook it up to the smartphone directly, and it's pretty simple to do. What you do is you push go to the playback button. If I want to share that image, I can push the function button, which also doubles as a Wi-Fi. And I'm going to actually send this image to my smartphone. So it's going to search for my smartphone. On my smartphone, of course, I'm going to unlock it. I'm going to go into my settings, and I'm going to look in my network to see that the camera is there. It's actually already connected, which is great.
Oh, cool.
Then what I do is I open up this app that I can download for free called the Camera app. And from there, I can select different options, of course. I can receive images, I can browse images on this camera. I can even geotag stuff. So if I wanted to put a geotag information onto my image on the camera, I can do that. But let's see if I can just receive that image. I'm gonna try to see if it connects. It does connect. I push OK, and it's gonna automatically transfer that image onto my smartphone.
Oh, that's so neat.
So it's so simple. It's wirelessly done. If I go camping or if I'm out somewhere again, I don't need that network in order to connect it. And from there, of course, I can use my my phone data plan to actually upload it to to sites like Twitter and Facebook to share it with my family and friends. So that's really a cool feature to have. Of course, I know you travel a lot, and you probably like doing videos as well. Of course, this camera does have, HD video. It actually offers full HD videos with stereo sound at 30 frames a second.
What do you mean by 30 frames per second?
Well, 30 frames a second is basically the frame rate in which the camera captures the video. So at 30 frames, it's very, very smooth.
Okay.
And it allows you to sort of pan the camera left and right. So if you're following your nephews or you're trying to show people where you've been and you videotape with it, it's gonna look very lifelike, and of course, and it's almost lively as if you were there personally itself.
Okay.
It's pretty simple to do. I like the fact that it has a built-in record button. I can start to record by pushing it.
Right.
And of course, I can actually stop by pushing the record button again. And during that time, I can zoom in, zoom out. It does have an autofocus on this camera. Because it's built-in face detection, I can actually use that as well. So if my subject's moving around, the camera's going to auto-adjust the focusing during the video, which is great. And I can attest to the quality of this video because this whole segment here is actually filmed using our X-A1 camera. So the cameras that you're seeing in front and behind us are actually X-A1 cameras.
Very cool. So, Billy, you always help me out with the camera every time I go away. So, realistically, is this a good camera for me?
Absolutely. I mean, you used the X10 before. It had a large sensor. You can really appreciate the sensor on the X-A1 being a lot larger with the APS-C. It's great for low light. It's also lightweight, just like your X10 would be, but it's a lot better in image quality. You have more control over depth of field. You're gonna like the Wi-Fi. I know you like to share your images on Facebook all the time, and now you can actually follow your trip as you go through Europe, seeing it on the spot. And if you're gonna take this with you with family and friends, and you want them to take photos, you can set it to the SR Plus mode, and they can just quickly take snapshots, and the camera's gonna do all the rest for you. I know you're really good, and I know generally you shoot in the aperture priority mode. But again, this camera is very versatile. So there you have it, the X-A1, a great camera for anyone who wants to take great pictures. Until then, I'm Billy of the Fuji Guys.